Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. My name is Eugen and today I will be playing around with another Parker fountain pen, the Parker Frontier in matte black. I had the pen for a couple of months in my collection but did not have a chance to use it yet. I purchased the pen from eBay for around 18 Canadian dollars with free shipping and it came all the way from India. It came in a thin padded box with two cartridges and a converter included. The only Parker that I got that actually came with a converter. I apologize for the issues the camera have with focusing on this pen, but because of the matte black, there's not a lot of contrast and camera will be hunting a little bit. As you can see, the pen comes in a very simple shape, modern-like cigar shape, with the cap having a flat top and the barrel having a domed end, which make it for a very interesting shape. My pen came in a gold trim, gold-like trim, not actual gold. There's not a silver trim as well if you do not like the gold trim. As mentioned, the cap is very simple. It has a flat top with sort of a gold-like jewel, and it looks that there is some space around that finial. And then you have the clip, which is pretty much a simple metal band that is stamped and arched, but makes it for a very nice springy clip. Again, the spring is stamped. Doing a quick shirt test. Slides fairly easy. And the clip is almost military-like clip. The pen pretty much disappears in your shirt. You still see a little bit of the top. Removing it from the shirt. It seems like it catches a little bit in there, at least on my copy. So might not be very safe for shirts. But for backpack, pockets, and things like that, I think it should be okay. On the cap, we have printed logo for the Parker, Parker name, and some weird numbers on the other side, which I have no idea what they mean. I-U and a 1 or an L or an I or an L. I'm not sure. The cap is pull push type and it actually makes a very nice and satisfying click. And once you remove the cap, you will be greeted by a plastic section, a gold-like nib, which is, by the way, a number 6 nib, and it has a very interesting design, and a feed, which is unique for this pen, and I kind of like it. It matches the nib very well, has a very interesting shape, and on the feed you will have the type of the nib, which in my case is fine. The balance is pretty much in the middle of the pen and it can be posted and it's quite secure. However, the cap will make the pen a little bit top heavy and the balance of the pen will switch towards the top of the pen. One thing that I forgot to mention, the pen is made out of metal, at least the outside of it is metal. However, the cap and the barrel, as you will see, it has plastic inner liners. The cap has an inner liner plastic, which is very hard to focus on for whatever reasons. And you have a metal edge. And this makes me think that the pen is actually stainless steel. It's non-magnetic though. But based on the shyness it has, most probably stainless steel and not aluminium. Removing the barrel, it will show plastic threads for the section where the barrel is catching on with a metal collar, and the very interesting cartridge that is included with the pen. Very simple but fairly functional. The piston seems to work very smooth without any issues. And looking at the barrel, you have the same spacer in there that will match the length of the collar from the section. And then you will have a plastic inner liner with plastic threads that will match your plastic threads on the section. And the cool thing about this pen is that this inner liner seems to be all the way to the bottom and enclosed. And I know it's hard to focus with this camera, but trust me, the inner liner goes all the way to the bottom of the pen. And I think this makes it for possibly an eyedropper, since the threads on the barrel will match with the threads on the section, and ink, if you use silicone grease, will never reach them. And as such, I don't think you'll have an issue with rusting the parts because of ink. And this is the fountain pen in a nutshell. Very simple, very slick, kind of modern looking, and I do like the matte black, even though my camera hates it. By the way, the section is actually very nice and comfortable. It's rounded. I don't think I'll have any issues with it slipping out of my hand. And again, the nib, it's beautiful. I like the design of it, and I hope it will function properly. And this is it. Not much else to say. I will go through the filling it up just to show you how it works, and writing sample, and then go straight to the drawing. For today's drawing, I wanted to go back to my favorite ink, Iroshizuku Winter Shogun. To fill up the pen, very simple and straightforward. Remove cap, remove barrel. And since the pen came with a sliding type converter, make sure you slide the piston all the way down, or the plunger. Put a pen in ink, go about halfway, go all the way back down, and then go back up. And the pen seems to get a pretty good feel. This piston works very nicely. And the section at the nib cleans up very nicely. No issues there. It does have a little bit of groove in here, but there's no issue with getting the tissue in there and just wiping it off very gently. Doing a quick writing sample, I will be using this pen unposted. This is because it's hard to see on the camera, but this pen, as you post it, will tend to wear off that matte black finish and actually make it a little bit shiny. So as such, if you keep on posting it, you'll most probably get a ring around the part where the cap is gripping on the pen. And because I don't want that shiny part, I will most probably be using it unposted, which is not an issue because lengthwise it's perfect for my hand. So this is Parker Frontier fountain pen. The nib seems to be very wet actually. Ink flow, it's very good. I like it. Especially with this ink. And reverse, nice fine lines, a little bit drier, but definitely usable, especially for drawings and for details. And the ink flow, it's actually good. It puddles a little bit, even on reverse. Reverse though is not as smooth. I could probably smooth it out a little bit, but should be fine as is. For now at least. I actually like the nib. Should be interesting for drawing. The nib is pretty stiff, there's no line variation. I mean, if you push a little bit on it, you just make a little bit of a thicker line, but just because you put more ink on the paper, not because actually it spreads the tines. Yeah, I like it. This should be interesting. For today's drawing, I will be trying to draw a sort of a plant that I've seen during wintertime, and it was backlit. I don't know what kind of plant it was, but the shape was interesting. I don't have a picture of it, but I always had it in my head. I did some preparation work. I'm trying to do something new. I did some splatters with this ink, Sunset Orange by Dryden Designs. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I'm hoping that the splashes will look very interesting once I'm done. So basically these were seeds with some long tentacles looking like, and a lot of fur that I'll draw on it as I go through the design. So it should be interesting as that fur, or whatever you want to call it, will intertwine with the other one, the other tentacles. Again, this will be backlit, so most of it will be darkened. I don't know how this ink is gonna work. I hope it's not gonna feather. I hope I'll be able to darken it enough so I can cover those splashes. If it's not gonna work out, I'll probably have to empty the pen and go for an actual black to finish it up. Again, I have no idea how it's going to turn out. This is me experimenting with stuff and hoping and praying it will turn out okay. I guess we'll see together how it's going to end up. And I guess I'll get to it. And I'll let you know what I think of this pen as I'm going through the drawing. Have I mentioned already that I really like this Iroshizuku Winter Shogun ink for drawing? The more I use it, the more I like it, and the more it's impressing me with how much room I have to play around with the tones that it gives. In the end, I did not end up switching to a black ink because I actually really like the end result. While the ink itself was not able to completely cover the orange ink, the darker orange spots were a little bit harder to overpower. It ended up incorporating that orange ink into it and kind of gave more depth to my plant. Did not expect that result, and I am happy with it. We'll definitely experiment again with this idea with different inks. It feels that this gray ink from Iroshizuku can easily match with any ink color. As for the pen, well, the pen worked without any kind of faults. Flow was good. Actually, I would say it was perfect for this drawing. I completely forgot what pen I was using and I was focused on the drawing. So the pen did not stood between me and the drawing at all. Unposted was perfect for me, well balanced. I had no issues with any kind of fatigue while using it. Things that I like about Parker Frontier: I like the weight of the pen. Unposted makes it for a very pleasant fountain pen to use and throw around on the page. I like the metal, I assume it's stainless steel, outside construction, and at the same time I dig the plastic sleeves on the barrel. I mean, based on what I've seen, I have a feeling that this pen can easily be used as an eyedropper. Obviously paying attention during the filling process and making sure you use silicone grease on the threads. I like the matte look on this model and the shape of it. Pretty cool and slick in my opinion, and I like the fact that the cap it's basically flat and the barrel it's rounded. Gives a very nice visual effect. I also like the nib that it comes with it, a little bit different but good looking, and a feed to match. Comfortable grip and decent, good looking and usable clip. I mean, mine had a little bit of an issue with snagging on that piece of cloth. Hopefully it's just mine, but obviously test before you use it on a shirt. You don't want to destroy your shirt. Things that I don't like about Parker Frontier. The thing that I don't like the most on this pen, it's also the thing that made me buy it in the first place. Because I like the look of it, the matte black finish. It looks like the finish will get shinier in some spots with use and as the pen rubs against things. Also, if you like to pose the pen, you will eventually get a ring around the barrel where the cap is put on the barrel. I guess unfortunately this matte black is not as resistant as I would have liked it. And that is the only thing that I personally dislike on this pen. I guess the other thing that I will mention is the clip, because unfortunately it's snagged. I wouldn't trust it with my shirt. If you get one, test it out, and hopefully basically you won't have the issue that I have. And not much else to add. If by any means I have missed anything or you have any other questions, please leave a comment below and I will try and get to it as soon as I can. Please feel free to also leave a comment if you want to share your own experience. We all have different experiences and it will be nice to hear what others think of this pen. My experience might be different than yours, and that's okay. With that said, I thank you for joining me today and I hope I'll catch you next time. Wish you all the best and a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Take care. Bye.